Okay, so the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 6 months later review. Let's see how it's been holding up. All right, so to start off, of course, this is not a traditional review of the tablet itself. And that is simply because I've already made more than a few videos doing just that. So do make sure to check out those videos if you are interested in a more comprehensive take on the Galaxy Tab S7. All right, so with that being said, I want to start off with something that quite a few people have asked about. And it is, of course, the Galaxy Tab S7 S Pen. How it's been holding up. Now, the pen itself, personally, I think is going to last for many, many more years to come. But the tip of that pen, on the other hand, has been holding up just okay. It's been 6 months and it's still going, although I feel like I'm going to be changing that within the next month or two. And that's the reason I'm saying that it's been holding up just okay. But then again, I do blame the fact that I use a matte screen protector on my tablet. And that type of screen protector actually feels good when writing on it, because it feels like actual dry paper. But the problem is the fact that it actually eats up the tip of the S Pen rather quickly. So I wouldn't necessarily advise for you to go for that unless you know that you have ease of access to get extra tips for you to be able to swap them once the other one goes out. When people ask if they should use the matte screen protector, I always tell them just get the regular one, and if you're really looking for that sound when you're writing, just go ahead and turn that on in the settings, right? You can turn that on so that when you write, you have that same sound as if you're writing on paper. With the matte screen protector, you don't need to turn that on, and then you would not only hear the sound, but you also get that same feel. If you're in Canada, if the US, or in Europe, you do have access to Amazon, and you definitely have access to getting extra tips for that S Pen. Now that we've already covered how the S Pen has been holding up, let's go ahead and talk about a tablet. And before we do so, if this is your first time to the channel here, well, welcome, of course. If you do like the content so far, I do appreciate that. Please do me a huge favor, hit both the like and the subscribe button there. It's a tremendous boost to this channel. And again, I very, very much appreciate that. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about how the tablet itself has been holding up. And to put it in very simple words, it's been holding up great. And that doesn't really surprise me, right? Given the build of this tablet, I'm actually having a hard time finding any significant scratches or dents anywhere on the tablet. And some of you might think that it may be the way I use or maintain my tablets, which might be true, but the tablet itself is built, it's a rock. It's a solid, it's really dense. When you hold it, you can tell that you're holding something that is very, very solid. It has that very premium and unibody metallic build, which helps keep it rock solid. And I also think the third thing helping here is the case that I have this tablet in. I usually have it in that case maybe 30 to 40% of the time, but even without the case, I don't think it will be broken by now. Now let's go ahead and talk about performance. How is performance holding up? This section should be super short. It works as if it's never been used before. It literally is as fast as it was when I first bought the tablet. Nothing has changed. And again, this is not a review, but here's more of a high-level list of things that this tablet comes packed with. My unit here is the base 128 gigs of internal storage, expandable at up to 1 terabyte. The chipset is the Snapdragon 865 Plus, and it is coupled, of course, with 6 gigs of RAM. As you see here, these are all flagship specs. And all of this makes for a very powerful machine. It has handled pretty much anything I've thrown at it, with not even a glimpse of stutter. And I see no sign of it slowing down. The user experience has been enhanced. It's been improved so much since I upgraded to Android 11 and One UI 3.1. So that's the software I have running on it, and things are even more flawless, anywhere from the GUI to just the level of continuity between this tablet and any of my other Samsung devices. Meaning I could be doing something on my Galaxy S21 or my Tab S7 Plus, and leave that device, leave the S21, and pick up on the Tab S7 here exactly where I left off on my phone. And even though I do own both versions of the Tab S7, this one remains my go-to tablet for almost everything. I tend to go for the Plus version for entertainment most of the time. The size of the Tab S7 is just perfect for me because it feels like a small tablet to me. Multitasking on this thing is working just as well as it did 6 months ago when I bought this tablet. I've been using Samsung DeX a lot more, especially lately, and it still works great. Now, one thing Samsung may still need to improve though is that keyboard. Now, it does work fantastic on steady or very flat surfaces, but that's pretty much it. It's nearly impossible to do any kind of comfortable typing while laying down or just sitting down and actually sitting the tablet or that keyboard on your lap and trying to type. It's just not comfortable. Again, flat surfaces, you're on a desk, on a table, it is just perfect. It may need to work on that a little bit and try to do something similar to what Apple did with the Magic Keyboard. That thing is pretty solid no matter the position you're sitting in. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk camera, right? For the past year or so, or a little bit more than a year, we've all been adjusting to the new way of living, especially doing a lot more Zoom calls or video calls and things like that. And I've made a ton of calls with this tablet, a ton of video calls with this tablet, and the quality has always been good, very good, right? Great picture quality, the sound has been good also. So my experience with the cameras has been nothing but positive. And just for context, in terms of specs, you are dealing with an 8 megapixel camera that can record 1080p at 30 frames per second. The main camera has been excellent also. It does produce pretty nice video or picture quality, especially for a tablet, right? It's formed of a 13 megapixel wide and a 5 megapixel ultra wide angle that can record 4K at 30 frames per second. Okay, so now let's go ahead and quickly highlight battery here. And as I mentioned already, this is my go-to tablet, as you would imagine, because I use it a lot more. I find myself, charging it a lot more often than I would any of my other tablets, right? And I'm still able to finish the day with full charge when I go light to moderate usage. And you may know that I don't like to dwell too much on battery because it's very subjective. It's gonna depend on the type of your type of usage. It's definitely not gonna be like mine. So let me just say that battery is still good. I'm still able to finish the day if I'm doing light to moderate use. As I mentioned earlier, if I'm going really heavy, then I find myself having to charge it before the end of the day. Now, I don't believe that the battery itself has already started degrading, right? It's just that I have kind of a heavier workload when compared to when I bought it 6 months ago. So that would explain why I find myself charging it a little bit more. I do a lot more with this tablet than I did, months back. So I would say the battery is still holding steady so far. Plus, if you do take in consideration all of the new updates and all of the things, again, that I've added to this tablet, I say it's still managing everything pretty well. Now, my overall take on usability on this tablet, remains very positive, even after 6 months. And if you are considering this tablet and you're still hesitating, you won't find anything better on the Android platform, right? So if you can manage to find a nice bundle or a nice deal on this tablet, go for it. It is still the best Android tablet out there. Plus, you also have to make sure to check the Samsung website. They always have some pretty nice trade-in deals where if you have a device, you can trade that in and it would take off a big chunk of the total price off of this tablet. I still very much recommend this tablet for people who are looking for a productivity tablet, even for people who are considering some iPads, right? So I would ask them what they are looking to accomplish with a tablet. Once they tell me, I'd be like, hey, look, the Tab S7 will help you do just that, at the best price possible. Or if they're telling me other things that I think, Apple tablets would handle better, then I'll go ahead and direct them to, either the iPad Air or the iPad Pro. But generally, I end up, suggesting the Tab S7 to many more people. I really, really love this tablet. The S Pen is just amazing, right? It, signed documents, sent animated messages, Samsung DeX. There's so many things that are great about this tablet and that are still running so efficiently, still running strong 6 months later. Now, I do hope that this was informative. Hope you found this informative, that it helps your purchasing decision. Please don't forget, of course, to like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do, and I'm also going to catch you in the next video. And up until then, of course, stay safe out there.